I'm here. You know, I truly feel there's a difference. I don't know if that makes sense. I sound so. I sound to myself so esoteric saying this, but like for me, it's clear. I don't know. It makes sense. Like here, like there's nothing else. There's just nothing else.
I think it's a discovery. What you're kind of saying in your own experience is the discovery of, you know, the illusions, right? The illusions of, let's say there's a child standing next to you in the retreat and he's like, oh, we should go outside, don't want to be here, la 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 la. Then it's suddenly clear, right? Because you would tell the child like, no, we're here, like we're here and we're not there, so let's just calm down, and in 3 days or 4 days we're gonna go there maybe, but let's just be here now. But then this child isn't there, it's in your head. So it's the distinction almost between the first and second Zen retreat that you did. Like, you were the child there, and in the second one you had suddenly, in the same head, there was the child and there was suddenly the parent, all in Leo, right? Or all in Bob, or all in Martin. And suddenly there was a different position where you could say, yeah, I hear you, but we're here, you know, and we're always going to be here now. So just enjoy now, because you're just complaining over where else you should be. And that realization, I think that's what you're saying. For me.
Yeah, I think that's 100%. And just like this idea is, sorry, just to finish, it's just this idea that there's only what's going on right now, you know, there's only what's going on right now, whatever is happening.
That's not an idea, is it? That's actual knowing that there's nothing else that's going on. And until you've reached that, let me ask you, how long the first time you heard about this, when was that? When you heard, okay, there's only now, were you able to just be like, all right, there's only now, and you just drop no, let me ask you, did you drop everything? There was just now the first time you heard that.
So here's the thing, like, even when you think like, now, okay, is there just now? Okay, maybe I'm in it now.
Shit. Leo.
Leo. Yeah, you're back.
Well, that's good. Like, explain to me, how can you not be where you are right now? No. Let's go even further. Like, tell me, how can you not be yourself right now? Try it. Truly, show me. How can you not be yourself right now?
Okay, I'm having.
Try to be somewhere else.
Let me try to. No, I understand. Yeah, okay, I get that part. But what I'm saying is to break through to the point where this is an absolute known reality for you.
But there's no breakthrough, man. There's no breakthrough.
It's a remembering, is it not? It's remembering.
So that's the thing. There's no breakthrough because there's no separation. There is no breakthrough.
But how would you get to that point if you didn't?
There's no getting, man. You're still. You're
okay,
already there.
Hold on. Okay.
Try not to be there. Like, if you're expecting this, if you're expecting change, you are expecting something. You are not there.
What are you trying to formulate, Martin?
I have to be very careful now. I choose my words.
No, you know, express yourself. Leo will.
Well, that there is a certain inevitable evolution. If we look at the way we live our life, right? There's pain that we go through, pain so much that sometimes causes change, right? Like this whole whatever circle that I described, right? That there is an evolution that's happening to get to the point where you actually see, yes, there was never anything but this now, right? But for that, you pursue this thing, you pursue that thing, and it's all necessary to even get back to here and be like, this is all there ever was. That's what I was trying to describe. So just saying like, hey, I'm telling you this one time, and boom, all of a sudden you get that there's now. It's not that simple. Like it doesn't just happen when you hear it up here. You have to have an actual deep whatever in your gut, in your deep knowing and experience of it that you remember. And then it's a constant, because otherwise it's just like, yeah, I guess that's true, sounds nice. And I've had a little moment of that maybe. Feel pretty good right now, but it's not, that's it.
Okay, so I think there's a mix between two things here. One is the conflicts, the problems, and this idea that if you are here, everything's fine. That's not true. I don't think that's true. Problems, conflicts, they always come up, and you always need to look at them. Yeah, but it's okay to have them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to have them. But like, what I'm trying to say is that, dude, and this is like, so for example, I remember seeing myself coming to the first Zen retreat, and I can see myself getting out of the Zen retreat. That happened, in my mind. The second one, I didn't enter the Zen retreat. I was always me. I was always myself. I was always there. There's no getting to, there's no getting out of. It's already there. You are already living your life. How can you not be? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there is no click. There's just no click. Why you were waiting for a click? There's no click. There's just, you are living now. Can you click and like, oh, now I'm leaving? No. What?
Well, then let me ask you, why do people pursue these paths? Why do people go to a monastery for 20 years and then all of a sudden they wake up to something and be like, whoa, shit, how did I not see this 20 years ago? But why do they do it if there's no point to even doing these things?
What are they seeing? What are they seeing? What are they
Maybe
getting?
What you are seeing right now. What is so clear to you that you think it's just like, oh yeah, it's just there. But it's hard to then see what maybe is going on in other people's perception of quote unquote reality. Right? Shit. Bob, you're still here, yeah?
Yeah.
But so, or what other people are seeing is whatever it is, like being in another place. Oh, okay, I experienced this, now I'm no. You're still in the same place. Everyone's still in the same place. The guy that goes to the monastery is still in the same place. He's still doing whatever he's doing. We are all living. Like, we are all living. Everyone is living.
Yes.
Like there's no saying into, oh, I'm living in this place. Like, what? Like it almost sounds like you were trying to ask me, or you think that I'm saying that I'm in a higher place or a higher experience. No.
No, less illusion place. There's not this filter that. Does that make sense? That's what clarity is. It's like you see things maybe for what they are. Maybe that's the situation you're in right now.
But you are seeing the same thing. In your own way, you are seeing the same thing.
Okay, Bob, do you have anything on the matter?
What I feel what you guys are kind of describing both in your own ways is that it's what you guys are saying, it's all true. Like, it is all true and it is all not true. Right? It is a discussion about, maybe Martin, for you, from getting had the circle of Zen. That's what you're describing, Martin. Like, you start here, you go on this whole 20 years monastery, and you kind of end at the same place. But you needed to do that full circle of kind of dismantling your whole ego or meditating, or, I mean, this is why we practice, right? To get what you're, Leo, describing, to get to that point of there's just now, and that realization, which is, I think, interesting to say for the record as we're recording. There's an intellectual idea about that, and there is a visual experience about that. Like, there's waking up, and there's understanding waking up, right? So that's what I sense in this discussion, and I feel it's all true. And whatever makes your clock tick, right? Like, if you want to be 20 years in the monastery, or if you feel like Leo, like there's just now and I feel it and that's it. Whatever, it's all good. It's all literally for us to judge. Or
we can't say there is this one way, because there isn't, right?
So, but there is as well. So we come to a
Well, no. What I'm saying is there is not one specific way that needs to be followed. That's what I mean. There are so many.
Yeah.
And no one can really say what that way is for you, because you don't see the full picture.
But so here's the thing. But this is the thing that I think is important in what we are saying, and I feel that you were trying to go somewhere, and I think that's in itself is you can go somewhere, but you are trying to, like, you go back to Albert Lowe when he was saying that Zen is not a philosophy. It's not about going to the monastery and staying there 20 years or 2 seconds or 1 minute. This is a philosophy. You're going somewhere else. You're not being Zen anymore. You're going to an institution. You're creating an institution for it. And I wouldn't even say like waking up is too much. Like, what the fuck is waking up? What the fuck is waking up? And why is that even important? Why is that even important? Why you were looking for that? Why you think you need to do things to get somewhere? Like, for me, this is already like going extra. Why you need to go to the monastery and live 20 years? Okay, if you're suffering from something, then work on that, but don't work on getting past something that is not happening. That's when I see it's a problem. So when you are going somewhere because you think you need to go somewhere to be this person, to be like this, to be like that, to wake up, like, when you
would we do it if we weren't suffering?
Sorry?
Well, you said if you're suffering, yes, you want to do something about that, right? It's almost like there's something that's driving you to do something because there's suffering. And suffering, as they see it, has to do with your ego. Let's just really simplify that, right? And so
what I was trying to say is that if you're presented with a conflict, you're presented with suffering, for example, you're presented to that, and that's happening here right now. Okay, let's discuss that. Okay, so this is happening to me today. I was feeling like this, blah, 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 blah. You go to that. This is one thing. The other thing is that, I don't want to suffer, or I don't want to go through this, or why I want to be enlightened, or whatever it is, I want to go to that point. That for me is going. That for me is creating It's a creation. It's a creation of your mind, of something that you need to get, somewhere that you need to go. Like, I'll just go back to what Albert Lowe says, because it's Zen. Let's use Zen for Zen. It's like, don't make Zen is not a philosophy. It's not a philosophy.
Okay, yes, I agree with you, and maybe I'll have to investigate a little more if that's actually the case, but I don't feel like I'm necessarily trying to get somewhere that has nothing to do with my already currently existing reality, and it's And the practice itself shows me that that is actually what this is about. What is going on right now? Does that make sense? But through the practice, I realize that this is that there's no, oh, I need to become enlightened. Like all these things are just completely like, yeah, where does it come from? Why do you even want to get enlightened? Does that make, like, what notion drives you to want to pursue that? Or is it something that's really going on right now and you're working with what's coming up right now? And that's why you practice? Or what, I don't know, practice sounds like it's something you're trying to attain.
It is in what they say about it. Like, it is that dynamic between what you guys are the perfect example of life, right? It's like Leo is saying only now and there's nothing else, and Martin, you're saying, yeah, but I want to get there as well, you know? And that is what it is. Like they say about people that are in the now, Leo, like you say, like you can't stay there. That's it's not an option to not have that creation, like you say. And it feels like you're judging that. And that's interesting because I feel it's a part of this experience of life. Like so, the constant battle between now, you don't have to, and I need to get to the monastery because I'm fucked up, you know?
This is where I would, and this is funny because like this would go, this is super interesting. This would go to a long discussion that I would have to someone like that is more spiritual and, you know, that are like what you were describing. Like, I don't think there is this place. Like there's just not like this idea that I'm in the now. It's like, yeah, we are all in the now. We are, everything's living like, oh, but what about this? And like we need to, like this get where what the fuck,
No,
where
gets
like
back to get back there
To the now.
that.
Exactly.
Yes, but,
because you're here,
how can
you are here and you're not in the now. It's almost like this override.
That's not true.
No,
that's not true.
Okay, no. The
For
experience doesn't feel like it's in the now. That's what I mean. It's like this thing overrides the actual experience of the now. It's constantly going on, but you can't, it's not really there. Does that make sense? Not palpable to the, does that make sense?
You're trying to choose. That's the thing, you're trying to choose.
No,
and that's the problem.
But Leo, it's interesting that you're presenting it with an energy that is the wrong way. And
no. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's no wrong way.
Yeah.
Like whatever is happening is just whatever is happening.
Yeah.
Even when I think, oh, this is wrong, this is right, it's happening. It's happening here. When I'm here thinking like, wow, my life is shit, man, I can't get girls or whatever it is. Like it's here. Or when I feel like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, I don't want to.
But in that moment, are you actually, when you think that, are you here?
Yes.
Or are you not?
How can I not be here?
Okay, maybe that's not the right. Are you experiencing the here? Are you experiencing the here, or are you experiencing the thinking?
So that's when I think it's too much. It's like, what is experiencing here if it's not here? How can you not be experienced here if it's here? Like that's for me, it's super interesting.
Well, have you experienced a distinction in that yourself, Leo? Because I feel you're presenting it as an intellectual thing, but I feel personally there is, for me, as the thing that I am, an actual experience of not being in the now. Like the now is there, right? Always. Like, okay, we're agreeing on that. But for me, there's an experience where I don't really feel that, even though I'm in it. Right?
The distinction between listening to just
and
Bob,
I feel it. I can actually feel it a little bit. Like I'm in a swimming pool and I don't realize I'm in the swimming. Like I don't feel the water, no. And then other moments I can actually feel the water. But the water is always there. The now is always there. Like we won't debate you on that.
Yeah, just listening to you talking, Bob, purely listening and then thinking about what you said. That distinction between these two things. Isn't that a major difference? Because you're not, when you're thinking, then you're thinking. And all of the stuff just doesn't seem to be here, what's here. And that's what I mean. Then you're not in the now experience. You're not hearing the train outside, the ambulance passing by. Right? No, you're thinking about.
Yeah.
I can understand what you guys are saying. Yes. Like what you said, Bob. We are always here, right? And there are the experiences. What for me is not the problem, but it's like the thing that is like it's like this idea that there is something better. There's this idea that okay, there is whatever is going on that is always going on, but that's better. This is not good. That's better. This is bad. That's better.
Yeah.
You know, like it's always here. It's always here. It's always here. But then there comes this idea where, oh, I'm in my mind. This is not good. I should be not in my mind. Oh, yeah. But I can experience now that I'm not in my mind. So much better than being in my mind. I'm in my mind again. Like this idea of like there is a
judging,
positive and negative distinction between those things.
Yeah.
This is what makes me like, no man, like no man, like yeah.
And that's even the same thing, right? That's what you.
Yeah.
It's like judging the judging. Yeah.
Like I know that there's only, but I don't want to be here. It's like, yeah, it's happening. Everything's happening. It's bad. Okay, you feel bad. Let's feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's all feel bad.
Well, is it about bad? Because we experience suffering, right, by identifying with the illusion, right, of the thinking, right, thinking about the thing, which is not real. It's almost like you're creating a reality that is not reality. And so is there not an inherent desire to experience exactly how life, like what is?
What I feel, and tell me if that's wrong, but what I sense is that you were saying that this is negative. You're putting a negative connotation on that. It's like, and this is where I feel this conflict coming from. It's like, oh, this is what's happening now, and this is negative. I need to go to the positive. And that conflict for me is what creates the conflict. The idea that there's a negative and a positive way of being in the now. You know, you are always here. Even when you are pooping for 20 hours straight in the toilet, you're still there. When you are in the metro thinking about Bahamas.
Okay,
Why is that better or worse than hearing the sirens?
I don't know if it's better or worse, but
if you're trying to get somewhere different, that is not the quality of better and worse in itself.
No, as in you're being pulled into something different and not.
Yeah, but why do you need to change that? In the sense, like, why is that bad? Why is that a problem? Like, so when Bob said, like, oh, you can't be here in the now all the time, like, but this now has a description, you know. Like that people, you were saying like that people describe that you can't be in the now all the time. Yeah, but this now is like, it's a description of feeling my feet on the floor or whatever it is. This is a description of what is it to be in the now, which for me gives the idea that there is a better now and there's a worse now. That's when I don't agree.
Well, so how do we? So let's say I sit here in my room in front of the computer talking to you guys, and then I'm thinking about some girl that I met the other day, and thinking into the future, what's going to happen, blah blah. So what is that?
It's thinking.
And that thinking creates suffering. So is it
Why
just
create
like
suffering? Why? And what is the
why?
problem? Yeah.
Well, doesn't most of our thinking do exactly that? And because we're ruminating about stuff that didn't go a certain way, is that not usually what happens for most people in life? We think about how scary the future is. Is that not what we do in most cases? And so, just to experience really what is, I sit here at the computer, I feel my feet on the floor, I can smell the air, just the senses, what they're taking in, puts you completely at ease. Does that make sense? And the other thing creates this anxiety, stress. If it was the right thing, then my body wouldn't be fucking reacting like this.
So this is where I see the problem for me. This is where I see the problem. Not the problem like you have a problem. That's not what I'm saying. But the problem
Are
of
you?
what you are
Yeah.
of the problem of what you are trying to get rid of, because it sounds like a problem to you. What you are describing, it sounds like there's a preference. It sounds like, oh, this is, I shouldn't be doing like this, or I shouldn't be doing like that, and because you shouldn't, you do. Because you shouldn't, you go there. Because you have this strong idea of what it is to suffer or what it is to be human. What is your problem? You have, that's how I perceive it. Like you have like a strong definition of something and something negative, and this perception gives you whatever you want to feel. Like this, it's almost like you're holding on to this suffering. You're holding on because every time you fucking sit in front of the computer, you feel like this. Every fucking time, man. Every time I sit here, it feels like this. I know it. I know it. I feel that. I suffer all the time. All the time. It's like you're holding on to that. You're holding on to the suffering. You're holding on to this. Like, oh, man, every time, all the time, I feel like this. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here.
No, I
And then
don't
it's
punish
fucking.
myself for it. I'm not like beating myself up. I used to do that, but that clearly didn't help. Like, what's the point of that? That does exactly what you're describing, right? It's like gently, almost like an animal that you're trying to have it follow a certain path to the water, whatever, right? You wouldn't just like fucking beat it up. It's just like, no, this, right? It's like you're gently moving yourself to the water so you can drink from the well. And remember that's why I said remembering, because the remembering brings you back into your senses, like into your body. And I don't, again, like, this is something I guess will show. But
Okay.
even talking about it is just.
I can, yeah. Okay. Well, so many things. Like, so for example, when this thing that comes up to you, like for example, you're thinking about this girl. Oh, I think Bob and you had to go, and we are already past that for a few hours.
Few hours.
Interesting. It's interesting. I do think we're talking in a circle, but this is my feeling. But please continue.
So when you feel these things, like you're in front of the computer and you feel like, whoa, I'm thinking about this girl again. Cool. Let me make a tea. Oh, cool. Let me do something else. Cool. Let me change things instead of trying to get rid of that. Instead of fighting against that. So for example, the day the girl broke up with me, I was like, fuck, man. Like, wow, this is terrible. Maybe I should go for a walk to, clear my head and not thinking about that. I was like, oh, but then that's like running away from our problems. I should face the shit. I should feel terrible. I should feel depressive. I should stay at home, lock myself in the corner, and have an anxiety attack. And it's like, what? What?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Let me go out. No, nothing happened.